Hey, welcome. So, your business is growing. First off, that's awesome. But that success usually brings a little surprise with it, right? A mountain of financial paperwork. Today, we're going to dig into how outsourcing can actually be a killer strategy for growth.
So let's just cut to the chase with the big question. As you get more sales, as your team gets bigger, do you feel like you're just drowning in invoices, receipts, and all those compliance forms? If you're nodding your head right now, then you are in exactly the right place.
All right, let's start with what I like to call the growth dilemma. It's that weird paradox where the very thing you worked so hard for, success, starts creating this whole new, messy layer of complexity you never saw coming. I mean, it's a pretty simple formula when you think about it. The accounting stuff that used to be a breeze for maybe one person, well, it can quickly spiral out of control. All of a sudden, you're hit with this flood of vendor payments, new tax rules, and documentation that just feels, well, totally overwhelming. And here's the kicker. These tasks, they all build on each other. It's not just one thing, it's everything, all at once. Every single item on this list takes time and, super careful attention. And that's time and energy that gets pulled away from the important stuff, like strategy, and gets stuck in admin. So, how in the world do you deal with all this without hitting the brakes on your growth? Well, let's talk about a smarter way to handle your finances. Let's talk about outsourcing.
Now, when we say outsourcing here, we're not just talking about handing off busy work. No, this is about delegating really critical functions to a team of actual specialists. I'm talking about people whose entire job day in and day out is to handle things like tax prep and accounts payable with total expert precision.
So let's quickly break down the two main services we're looking at. On one side, you've got tax prep. That's all your returns and making sure you're compliant. Then on the other side, you have accounts payable, which manages every single invoice to make sure your vendors get paid correctly and on time. They might seem like separate things, but trust me, they are both deeply tied to the health of your business.
Okay, so what's the real payoff here? What do you actually get out of this? Let's walk through the 5 key gains your business can expect when you make this kind of strategic move. First up, and this one is a really big deal, efficiency. See, outsourcing partners aren't just an extra set of hands. They bring super streamlined processes and specialized tech to the table. And what that means for you is that invoices get processed way faster and tax filings get done right the first time without all those frustrating delays. All right, the second major win, you get to lighten your team's administrative load. A lot. Just take a second and imagine what your team could get done if they weren't buried under a mountain of data entry and paperwork. Outsourcing frees them up to focus on the things that actually push the business forward. We're talking financial analysis, big picture planning, and real strategy. Number 3, this one's all about security and just getting things right. You get improved accuracy and compliance. Let's be honest, financial mistakes are expensive, not just in money, but in your reputation too. These professional teams have quality controls built right into their process to catch mistakes, which helps you avoid penalties and ensures you're always playing by the rules. Okay, our 4th key gain is huge. It's about getting instant access to some serious expertise. You get immediate access to experienced pros. These are experts who live and breathe this stuff. They're always on top of every little change in tax law and financial regulations, so you don't have to be. It's like having a team of specialists on call. And that brings us to our 5th and final key benefit, built-in scalability. This one is all about planning for your future. As your business grows and your transactions multiply, your outsourced team just scales right along with you. You get all the support you need without the massive headache and cost of hiring and training a bigger internal finance team. So, with all these clear benefits, the really big question becomes, when is the right time to actually make this move? Let's talk about how to spot that tipping point in your own company. So, I want you to be really honest with yourself for a second. As we go through these common challenges, are you kind of nodding along? Does any of this stuff hit a little too close to home right now? Look, if you're seeing a huge jump in transactions, if the invoice workload just keeps piling up, if your accounting team looks totally overworked, if you're starting to struggle to meet tax deadlines, or if little errors are starting to creep into your financial reports, these are all classic red flags that your internal systems are being stretched to their absolute limit. And that brings us right to our final point. This is really about shifting your whole company's mindset, moving away from just managing day-to-day admin tasks and toward actually driving future innovation. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The end goal isn't just about getting the paperwork done. The real goal, the real prize, is freeing up your company's most precious resource, your team's time and attention, so you can focus it on growth. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. If you could get back all those hours you're currently spending on financial admin, what new product could you launch? What new market could you break into? What could you really achieve with more time to innovate?